Well, I think you and everybody else on the planet wish they'd known this information a long time ago. Do you know that it was in 1893 when Sigmund Freud coined the term the subconscious? And what he was referring to is thoughts and impulses, feelings that weren't accessible through the conscious mind. So we had this idea that we had something that was running us that wasn't exactly our consciousness, our awareness, our awakeness. So basically, what he's saying is we do stuff on autopilot. And we know this. We know that 95% of everything we do every day is just an autopilot from the day before. Everything we think, everything we eat, everything we do. However, the idea that it's not accessible is actually incorrect. It's an old idea. It's way more than 100 years old. This idea that we cannot access the subconscious. We can if we know what it is and where it is. And it's our automated response that is accessible through sensation, through the feeling. Tell us about the science behind this, Bill.
There's a wonderful guy, Dr. Antonio Damasio, and he is out of USC. He's a neurologist and a psychologist. And Dr. Antonio Damasio had figured out that it was actually our feeling that comes first. And then we think a thought equal to the feeling. So all of us think, oh, you got to control your thoughts. When really what you need to do is be able to change the feeling. And then what happens is you automatically don't think the thought, or you automatically think a different thought. So he talks about the thing that we all do, and that is when we have a strong feeling, maybe on the negative side or on the positive side, actually it works either way, that we will manipulate and twist around. I call it pretzel logic. You'll twist things around in order to make it seem like it's a good idea, right? I got a strong feeling and I think we need to do this. Well, how many times have you seen in public, right? Either like at very high levels in the government or massive corporations, and the CEO is like, you're scratching your head. You're like, oh my God, what? You're going to do what? And we see the evidence of it all day long. They'll take a company down, or they'll throw their country into a massive problem of some kind, whether it's related to other countries or financially, you name it. But when we have this feeling, it feels like the truth, and we will make up whatever it is, to match the feeling, right? If you think about it, I mean, you take this to extremes, and there's a lot of people that are in prison and they justified, like, well, they had it coming, whatever they did, they had some strong feeling of lack or anger or whatever that they couldn't control, right?
Yeah. I mean, so really what I think people want the answer to is, where does this really come from? Where does it come from? It comes from a part of your nervous system that's constantly looking for a threat, your fight or flight, your limbic system. So a lot of times the things that Bill's saying, like, oh, they had it coming, they were wrong about that. You have a strong feeling based on something that happened to your physical body, your logical mind, or your emotions somewhere in your past, not even what happened today. Your nervous system will have an automated response, or your subconscious will have a feeling. That feeling sends a signal to the brain, the quality of the feeling. So if the feeling is strong and feels negative, the mind is going to make up a strong and negative feeling about that sensation that actually comes from somewhere in your past, not even about today. So many people are fighting with their spouses over something right now that didn't even happen in this relationship. It's just the way the body works. It decides what's dangerous, what might harm us, and then it keeps a pattern going around that.